Anyway, just gonna go through this thing, check all the fluids, make sure everything's good. Merle's in here. We're gonna go on a four-wheeling trip tomorrow with some friends. Gonna go find some snow, hopefully. And right now it just looks like mostly ice, but it snowed quite a bit the last few weeks up in the woods there, so we're gonna try to go get some snow and see how this truck does with the new locker. So today I'm just gonna go over it, kind of grease everything, check the fluids, and just make sure everything's still good from the last trip. Drove it to town a few times since then, but it really hasn't gone very far. So as you can see, it's nasty outside. Those two knuckleheads, they don't want to come in. They just want to stay out there, so whatever. They don't like the shop as much because I make noise in here. They don't like the noise. Probably going to try to rewind the winch and get it wound back up right. I've used it a few times, you know, kind of winds up on one side or the other. So I want to make sure that's good to go. And as you can tell, we had freezing rain last night. This thing's been out there running and it's still thawing out. So the only problem with this pickup that I've had that I wish was better is the heater. Ford always had a really good heater. This one says high output on it. I've put a new heater motor in it. I've put a new heater core in it. And it just doesn't work as good as I would think it should. But it is heating a full crew cab. But it seems like it should do better. But keeps the chill off. It does defrost the windows at least, but it's not like run you out of there hot. And every Ford I've had before that is. So I don't know what the deal is with it. Almost feels like it doesn't go on a high, like its highest setting. The fan doesn't go on the highest setting, but you can hear the fan on every setting on the switch, so it's getting the voltage. It just doesn't seem like it puts out as much as it should. But anyway, it's that's just me complaining because I'm getting old and I like heat. So anyway, we'll get going on this pickup. I got to clean out the back and just go through my tools and my recovery gear, make sure everything's in order. Check all the fluids like I said, and I'll probably let my tires down. I'm at 20 pounds now. So I'll probably go down to 15 before we even go. The roads are slick here anyway. It's snowy. 15 pounds. I've had these at 15 pounds before. They're a 10 ply, so it doesn't hurt anything. It just definitely makes for way better traction. Then I got to sharpen my chainsaw. So I got a little chainsaw that we take. This little guy here. It's a little Poland. I got to pull it out and sharpen it. And last time I used it, it seemed pretty dull. So I went down and bought a file for it. We'll put it in the vise and get it sharpened up, and then we'll have a saw if we come across any down trees. Been going around and lubing everything, so the door latches and the hood latch, I lubed that. Little of the good stuff. The hood hinges, you want to keep these just a little bit of lube on those. You can tell I've been lubing these, they're pretty well lubed up, but I try to do it quite a bit. You know, a few times a year, squirt some goodie in there, and you know, you can't over lube them. So I do those. I do these hood or the door latches in the door. Give them a little squirt. Door closes nice. Never hurts to put a little in the key lock. Keep those lubed up, and it keeps everything happy. Do a little bit on these on the tailgate, just to keep everything sliding free. You Chevy square body guys, these hood hinges, keep those lubed, or that hood will taco bad. I've seen a lot of them. It's actually kind of, around here anyway, kind of odd to see one that isn't tacoed in the middle because it wasn't lubed. But same thing, I mean, these Fords ain't any different really. The Chevys had this body line right here in the hood. Basically a crumple zone is what it's for. So if you get head on, the hood will bend in the middle instead of coming back and taking your head off, which is a good thing. But the Chevys had it clear up in almost to the flat part of the sheet metal. It was like flat sheet metal all the way across. And if you didn't lube these, you'd go to slam the hood and that hood would bend in the middle. And then once it's bent, it's over. You can't unbend it. I mean, you can get it flat some, but it's never the same again. So anyway, these Fords were a little better designed. It's got some structure, but they can do the same thing. I've seen these Fords the same way. You don't ever lube those, and that hood will bend in the middle. So keep your stuff lubed. It's a good thing. Going around and dropping the air to 15 pounds. Got my handy dandy air gauge. Looks like those are already at 15. That's the front tires. I checked the other one already. It's at 15. I might have already went to 15. I thought I was at 20, but I can go as low as 10 on these, and they still stay on the wheel. Yeah, I'm already at 15 pounds everywhere, so we'll call that good. And go as low as 10. I wouldn't tell everybody to do that. We've been doing this for a long time. I've done this my whole life, four-wheeling, so you got to be very careful going that low, what you do while you're that low. I've actually never had a tire come off the wheel because it was too low on air, four-wheeling, but I did cut a sidewall once, blew the tire. That wasn't because it was too low on air, but you got to be pretty careful going that low. That's getting down there where if you slide sideways into something, you can pop a bead, basically flat tire, and you don't want to do that. So you get an amazing amount of traction that low, but you don't want to hammer down either and spin, because if your tire catches traction, your wheel will actually spin inside the tire, and it can blow the bead off, basically flatten the tire. So I don't suggest going that low unless you need to. Sometimes we do, just playing in the snow. Always have a spare with me, and just in case, but I don't have onboard air yet, so I can't air it back up if I need to. Then you're driving home on 10 pounds of air pressure. Our old Jeeps, my little Jeep like that, I can go down to 5 pounds real easy in the tires, get around just fine, never has a problem. Of course, it doesn't weigh much. I think that thing you could almost run them without air. It's so light, but get pretty close anyway. A couple pounds, 3-4 pounds, still holds it up. But got the back of the pickup cleaned out. Pretty much this just frozen stuff in there now. I'm just gonna throw my spare tire back in, and that'll be all I throw in here. I've got a toolbox with tools in it in my cross box here. All my recovery gear's in there, shackles and chains, and I've actually got a full winch cable that's rolled up in there to get a bunch of extra length. Got a big old skidder strap in there for, it's actually a choker off a logging operation, and it's just old and hard to use. The cable gets hard after a while, and so they threw it away, and worked good for, you know, it's a big old cable, so you hook onto something with that, you can really do some pulling. But anyway, got all my recovery gear in. I'm gonna go through, check my fluids. I already checked the engine. Gonna check the transmission, transfer case, front and rear end. Then I'll grease everything real quick, and this thing will be ready to go. Gotta go put some go juice in it, spend some money, unfortunately. Front tank's empty, so I gotta fill it up, 18 gallons there. And back tank's still full, so that'll be fun. Anyway, we'll get ready to go for tomorrow. Go up and get stuck in the snow maybe. You'll get to see that too. Kind of dark under here, but to check the rear axle, just got a plug right there. Just pull that plug. The backwards Chinese crescent wrench. Right there. Sweet. So this is the vent for the rear end. It vents the air, so as the oil warms up, the air expands, so it's got to come out of a vent. And seems like it might be plugged up. I'm gonna blow through it with my air nozzle and just get it cleaned up. Thing's never been off of here. Still got the factory crimp on it, but might just take a piece of wire and stick up in there. They usually plug up right here at the end, so feels like it's plugged up, but we'll get it cleaned out. So this is that vent tube that was under on the rear end, on the rear axle. You can see it's got a little clamp on it there that hooks to the frame. So you want to come from the rear axle up to basically the top of the frame for this vent, so it's not sucking road debris and stuff. But I'm gonna blow this thing out with my air nozzle out here. I don't want to do it under the truck or into the rear end, because it can overpressurize in there and push the seals. So I just took it off. Let's do it out here on the bench and get it clean. Oh yeah. Had something in it. You could hear it pop out of there. We get a little bug here. Call them like a mud dauber or something, and they go in there and they build a little home for themselves, and then they take dirt and build a doorway that plugs it off, and the thing sits for 5 minutes. They're in it, so that was probably what was in there. It kind of looked like that type of thing, and it's pretty common around here. So I'm going to slip this back on and clamp her back down. All right, back here at the transfer case. So we're gonna, ouch, check the level on this guy. This transfer case actually takes ATF, automatic transmission fluid. So this pickup still has a cable driven speedometer, and I had a heck of a time finding the gear that goes in. It goes in up here on top, There's a gear that goes in around the output shaft here that runs the speedometer. I had a heck of a time finding that gear. It was stripped off, just old. Yeah, let's see. Find something to stick in there and check that. Can't be too empty, she's dry. Alright, found a little screwdriver. Just gonna stick in there. So it's got fluid on it. It's right there. So it's good. So we'll go on to the transmission next. So this pickup has the 4-speed in it, manual, and this is the drain. That's the check plug right up there. So I got to pull that apart and check it. Got the plug out, so I just reached my finger in there. It's got oil on it. It's good. She's full. So that's perfect. Really like this magnetic light. That's pretty handy. I'm gonna check the front end now. So that's that plug right there. Just put this together with that locker here just a few weeks back, so this should still be full. We'll check it just in case. Yeah, it's right there. A little oil on my finger. Perfect. Oil still looks good. Still looks dry. Must have got the seals to seal. Alright, that's tight. So now I'm going to go and grease. I just greased everything just recently, but I'm going to grease everything again. And grease both drive lines. Water dripping on my face. Weird, like the truck's thawing out or something. Looks like I got oil pan gasket issues on this too. Just did the Jeep. Now I need to do this. I think that's what's leaking on both ends of that oil pan. You can see it's squished out up there at the top. So hopefully that pan's not too hard to drop. Might have to lift the engine away from it a little. It's not the end of the world, but that's the downside to the Dana 50. Got that cross member running across right under the engine, and it's different on the solid axles. They got a cross member there, but it's different, and I think there's a lot more room under that engine. But anyway, price you pay for being famous, right? Okay, time to change the tip on my grease gun. This one is not sealing as good as it should on the Zerks anymore. They get wore out. I've used this grease gun a lot. It's the one I grease trucks with. So, maybe. Holy mackerel. It's like tight or something. Dang. That wasn't coming off anytime soon. Whoa. Let's see if we got the right one. Looks like it. A little different style, but got my new grease end here. right. For another 100,000 greases. All right, I'm gonna go under there and grease that front end and see how that goes. Shouldn't take much. I just, like I say, I just greased it a couple weeks ago, but everything was new. I put in all new tie rod ends, so I greased them up till they were full. We went up and ran it in the snow, played four-wheeled, did all that. So I'm gonna grease them again just to make sure they're good. Like I say, you can't, I mean, you can waste grease by over greasing, but it doesn't hurt anything to over grease or to grease again just to check it. I usually go till I see a little bit of grease coming out of the boot, and then that's good, and then they're greased. So I'm gonna grease those real quick. We'll grease the drive lines. Everything's greasable, all these U-joints. Grease those up, and I'll have to use my needle greaser on the U-joints that I just put in the inner axles there. So we'll grease them again, same thing, they're all new. So I've got a needle right there that pokes right into those. They don't have zerks, they got a just a little ball and a spring. So we'll go under here and do that. Of course the water is dripping in my face. It's like the truck's thawing out or something. All right. Let's get to where I can see him. Get that one from the back. Okay. That definitely hooks on better than it used to. Worst part about these grease guns, you need 3 hands. Oh, everything's so stiff. Oh, this grease is stiff. Kept the grease gun in the house. Flip the lid. Alright, that's enough of that. Okay. Hat back on. Okay. Whoops. Got schmutz on the camera. Schmutz. Like I'm under a pickup or something. Dang dog hair. Hard to tell what dog it's from. One more. There. That's enough of that. Camera got a little dirty there. Somebody misses the Jeep. I came outside, look who's in my Jeep. Just hanging out. Jeep's not going anywhere. That's the one that leaves the hair on everything. Weird. I know he's not very hairy, but he definitely leaves hair everywhere. Everywhere he goes. You could track him. Well, that'll get the pickup good. Everything's good on it. I checked it all, greased it all. Should be good to go for tomorrow. We'll go fill it up with gas. I'm going to sharpen this chainsaw real quick and toss it in there. Nice to have a chainsaw along, so we'll do that. I got the saw here in the vise, and I just clamped the bar in the vise. Makes it easy to hang on to. And I'm just going to go ahead and file this thing. The way I was taught with a file is as you go into the teeth, you twist the file. So you want to roll it in your fingers. This little saw, she dull. So I just do about quarter turn, third turn, something like that. Try to stay with the angle of the teeth that are already on the chain. All right, we'll move around to the next one. Knock the filings out of the file once in a while. Watching a guy file a chain's like watching grass grow. This makes the file last longer. Once in a while I twist the file in my hand just so I'm not using the same part of it the whole time. I'm going to flip the saw around in the vise and we'll do the other angle. So the teeth, I got some going this way, some going this way. So I like to file from where the tooth comes up and bends over from that side. I like to file that way. So now I got to flip the chainsaw in the vise and we'll file the other way. Doesn't hurt these bars to be in a vise. Just try not to bang the chain off of it too hard. It's so exciting. I mean, just riveting. I'm just, I'm on pins and needles here. Tooth there's got a chunk missing out of it. That's sharpened up. I'm gonna take that needle greaser that I had. I'm gonna throw a little grease in this tip. A little hole right there. Alright, you see the grease came out of the chain, came out the other side, run that around a little, do it again. Good to go. Clean her off a little. Poor little saw, it rides around in the pickup or the Jeep most of the time, so. All right, that's sharp. Now I'm gonna lay it down on the bench here. That's nasty. We'll keep this with the saw right there in the lid. That way the file's with the saw all the time. I've got a big Husqvarna chainsaw with a 28-inch bar over there, but when I'm four-wheeling, I like to just take the little one. I don't need that big one normally. All right, still full of gas. Oh. Still full of bar oil. Nice. Now that it's sharp, toss it back in the box. This is my gas and bar oil jug. Works pretty good. Time to go to lunch. I'm gonna go grab some Dairy Queen and run to my dad's house and visit with them for a little bit for lunch. And my dad and my stepmom. So we'll go have lunch with them and then come back, and I'm gonna pull the little Explorer in for my daughter, throw the winter studded tires on it. They wanna take it up camping. I don't know why they wanna go camping right now because it's icky out there. But anyway, they're young, I guess, and that's probably stuff I did when I was young. If they wanna go up camping, they wanna take 2 rigs just to be sure they got enough rigs to get around with, and they're going with some friends, so they'll have a couple other rigs. But anyway, throw some winter tires on for them, get it ready to go for her. So we'll go grab some lunch and come back and do that. I'm pulling into the Dairy Queen. I'm gonna grab us some lunch. This is our Dairy Queen. Been here for a long time. Used to come here in high school and get lunch. Well, I made it back from lunch with my dad and my stepmom. So nice to visit for a little while there. Back in the shop here. Got the 99 Explorer. Here's the snow tires. They got studs in them. These are a set that was given to us by a friend. So we just, every winter, throw them on, run them. And then throw these other ones back on for the summer. So we haven't really had winter. She doesn't really drive this car much. It's kind of their play rig now, so we haven't really had winter until just recently. And no need for studded tires yet until now, so we'll throw these on. They want to use this car this weekend, so I'll just get them on here and get them torqued down. I'll get them aired down a little. They look like they still got a little too much air in them for what they want to do, so anyway, we'll go through and put some tires on this thing. Then come warmer weather, we'll put these other tires back on it for now until we start building this rig. Got the old handy dandy torque wrench. Go to 80 foot-pounds on these little guys. Be plenty. There's 80. There. I always take the spring load off my torque wrench when I'm done. Basically take it back to zero. Go around and check the air pressure. 20, that's perfect. 20 pounds is perfect for winter time. You can tell not much squish there. This thing don't weigh enough. Yeah, I think we're good. We got that done. Now I'm gonna check the fluids under the hood and make sure everything's good there. Where in here? There it is. Looks like a Ford Explorer under there. This thing, for some reason, no matter how many times I clean those battery posts, they get corroded again. This has been the worst rig I've seen for that, and it just that green corrosion around the battery posts. I'll take them off, clean them up, soak them in soda, battery cleaner, post cleaner, I mean, it doesn't matter. You spray the stuff on them to keep them clean. Next time you look at it, they're green again. I don't know why. This has been the worst rig for that for some reason. It's just the way it's set up. I don't know. But yeah, they've always been dirty. Antifreeze. Full of washer fluid. Wasn't that long ago I put a belt on it. Still got power steering fluid. I think she's good to go another round. I'm going to do the same with this I did with my pickup. Take a little bit of the goodie and just lube the hood latch. This thing had the hood latch, you couldn't get it open when we first got the car, and it had an issue with the cable. So finally got it lubed up, and I squirt lube down it once in a while. But I had to rebuild the end of the cable there, and it works now, but man, you couldn't get it open. You had to do it with a screwdriver through the grill. You can actually get into these that way. if you know just the right little slot to stick a really small screwdriver in and twist it sideways, and it pops the hood. But it wasn't being friendly when we first got it. You couldn't get the dang hood open unless you did it with a screwdriver. So now it's good. That all works, and we'll get the door latches same as my pickup. You can see that I've had lube in these. They're still kind of wet, but makes them close good. I like it when stuff works. We'll do the same back here. That's probably locked, I'm sure. This thing, too fancy. For $99, it's pretty fancy. So we'll do the same on this. Wherever that, oh, the latches are on the side. So we'll squirt a little in there just to keep everything lubed up nice and neat. And it's fine if it drips on the ground. It won't keep dripping very long. All right. Sounded good. We'll get this one. You can see it's still, even though it's been in the shop for a few hours, still icy. It's fairly warm in here. That freezing rain last night was unreal. It was thick. Okay. Oh, I like it. I like that stuff to work like that. I hate having to slam the doors. I've always had an issue with that. People want to slam the doors all the time. Keep them lubed up, you can just close them like they're meant to be. Hood close. Beautiful. All right, this one's done, and we'll get it out of here. I think I'm gonna roll my spare tire in out of my pickup. I've got a set of single tire chains that are off of a semi truck that I've had forever. They've been out there. One's got a broken crosslink in it, whatever, but I'm gonna bring my spare tire in here. It's exactly the same size as what I'm running on the pickup. It's an M55. It's a 255, 85/16, I believe. But they're the same, it's the exact same tire. So I'm gonna bring it in, and I'm gonna cut those chains down to fit my pickup. So I'll have a set of cam lock heavy duty tire chains for it. You throw a set of tire chains on the front of that pickup, that thing will go everywhere. Those, they do pretty good. So anyway, we'll do that next and see how that goes. This is my spare tire off my pickup. I'm running the exact same tread, same tire height and everything on my pickup. This is the tire chains that I have. As you can tell, they're way too long. These came off of a semi truck. I got a broken crosslink on this one right here, so I'll have to swedge apart a crosslink and repair that. But I'm gonna cut them down so they'll fit on these tires. They've got the cam locks on them, and everything's frozen right now. It's been outside in that freezing rain. You got the cam locks. You just put a tool in here and twist these, tightens that chain up on the tire. Those are pretty awesome. That's the way to go. Cam locks are kick butt. I will get that kind of stretched around there, see what kind of length I want, and then we'll cut it. And then I can make the other one the same, and I'll have at least 2 tire chains for that pickup. And then when you run tire chains on a 4-wheel drive, you want to put them on the front axle. That's where all your weight is, and that thing will pull like crazy with tire chains on the front end. And then you can steer, pull you around, you can turn and go and do whatever you want. But and when you get them on, they're awesome. They a little bit of a pain to put on. It's not horrible. I've driven truck for 24 years, so tire chains are part of the job. They're just a tool, and it feels pretty good when they're on and tight, and you're running down the highway with a good set of chains on. It's a pretty good feeling in the slick weather. So it's not horrible. You just know it's going to be good when they're on there, so you just put them on. But anyway, we'll cut these down and make them fit, and then I'll have a good set of chains for this pickup. So I'll do this just like I do on a truck. I throw them over, and I pull either back the truck over or pull the truck forward, depends on which way I'm facing. So that kind of gets the chain fairly tight. driving up on them is the quickest way. You just throw it over the tire, drive up on it, pull your slack out, just kind of work the slack around. So I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. I'll pull a little bit of slack. And then we'll come over here, find out where it's going to hook. Then I'll cut it off. I'll leave it long, a couple extra links, so that you can always get it on there. Sometimes you can't get them as tight as the first time, so if you cut it just perfect, the next time you may not even be able to get them on. So we'll hook them up. So they got hooks on them. You come up here, everything's still frozen. That cross link. And I can hook this right there. That one there. Yeah, I'll have to cut this cam out of here. So that'll work. It still leaves me 3 cams around. That's plenty. So I'll take and cut this cam out. Okay, now get the job right. Come around and put it back. And these are tightened up. We'll run it just like that. I'll take a cross link out of this section. Put it back there. Could probably almost go a little tighter. Kind of wondering if I don't go. It's froze stiff. Could almost take. Yeah. Let's see how that does with that back in there. That's going to pull that up some. It'll be good enough. Take and open these cross links up. Got it in the vise there. Somewhere I used to have a set of chain link pliers. I don't know where they are. Probably gave them to somebody that needed them. Okay, that might be enough to get that link out of there. Maybe, maybe not. Almost. Thicker swedge. That's thicker. Alright, that did that side. Now this one. These chain link pliers that I used to have, they're like a big set of bolt cutters, but they're made for these. You just go in and spread those, and you put them on, crimp them back down. It was pretty easy. But when I sold my trucks, I probably gave them to somebody that was trucking still, or that was trucking in their own truck. We'll throw this on here real quick. And you want the hooks, you want the hook ends to the outside. You don't want them rubbing on the tire. So that one on. We're right in the middle, 1, 2, 3 between. 1, 2, 3, right there. Just like that. And we can squish those down. I probably got something to squish them. Yep, that kinks them back down. Perfect. Give that one a little girder. There she bent. Perfect. All right, there's one chain. I'll go grab that. So I built this tool, but it's the same idea. So it's got a kind of a squared end there. Goes right into these cams. I always lock the bottom one first. One full of ice. These chains aren't tight on here. Everything's got ice all over it. These take up quite a bit of slack though, when you get them spun around. Just like that, put it down tight. That's why you don't have to get them super tight. Those cams take it down. So now, we're chained up. Just like that, those won't come off. They're around the back good. They're not gonna work their way over the tire. These could be a little tighter. I mean, you could go a little tighter. Throw a bungee cord on them. Bungee cord from here to there. That'll take the slack out. But for what I'm doing, I'm not running down the highway like 30, 40 miles. If we're up in the woods in the soft snow, that's perfect. They're easy to put on. Crank those cams down. Good to go. So coming back off, flip the cams, unhook it, and unhook the inside. Just like that. If you can get it unhooked. Chain rolls up. You drive off of it. You got a set of tire chains. And I like to hang them the same way they go on. So these hooks, you want those sharp ends towards the outside of the tire, or that towards the outside. You don't want them against the tire. So when I hang them on something, I hang them just that way. That way when you grab them off, you just flip them on there, they're ready to go. Just like that, roll onto them. Pretty easy. I'll do the same thing on the other chains. I just brought them in, and same deal. I'll cut them down. They got a little different hook on them. They go in and cam around. You can cut the excess off. It just goes through one of the links and cams around and hooks to itself. So when I get those cut down, I'll show you how those hook up. Should be the same. They got the cams in them too. Same idea, a little different hook system. The inside hook should just be a hook, and the outside hook actually kind of cams around and pulls a little bit of slack too. So they're actually a little better hook design in my opinion, because it takes a little bit of the slack, and then you can turn the cams. But I'll show you that after I get them cut down to fit the tire. We'll get them on there, and I'll show you how those work. So this is the one I was talking about. It's got a cam like that. Stick it through a hook or a link, and it comes around. This little collar slides over it. They say they're a little more of a pain, but they are. And that sucker's locked in. It's locked in like that. So it locks into this little ring. This just pushes up when you want to take it off. pushes up and this ring slides out past it, and then it comes back around. But now I can tighten those cams, and that sucker will be tight. A little different chain style than that other one, but basically the same size and links and stuff. Other than that hook, they're pretty much identical. So we'll do the bottom one first. Work your way up the sides. Oh yeah. Take some slack out of it. That's all we're going to get. I'm not going to do this cam. That's tight. You can over tighten these. If you fought and got this cam tight and ran it, this thing can actually eat into the tire. These can eat into the tire. So you don't want to over tighten them. This, after it runs for a little while, it'll loosen up a little bit. But that's tire chains. Sometimes you'll be driving along on the passes here, you know, going over Mount Hood towards Portland or going over Santiam to Salem, and you'll see these tire chains laying on the side of the road. Somebody lost them, and because they didn't have them tight or whatever, they came off. And probably these two might be some of those that I've picked up over the years. If I got a safe place to stop, I'll pick up a set of tire chains like that. If they're laying on the highway. It takes a hazard out of the road and gives you a set of chains you can cut down for your pickup or your Jeep or whatever. They fit those tires perfect. They're made for a semi-tire, but semi-tires are pretty narrow. So it fits these M55s I've got, it fits them perfect. They're wrapped around there good and tight. And that pickup with a set of chains on the front, it's a bulldozer. I mean, especially with that locker in the front end, she's going to hook up good. And tire chains are kind of a last resort for four-wheel drive pickup. Usually, if you're having a hard time, you can't get through what you're in, and before you get stuck, you could throw this set of tire chains on, and it's a game changer. So anyway, that's my class on tire chains. So that's it for this video today. It's getting late here in the afternoon, and I'm going to call that a video. So thanks again for watching. I sure appreciate it. Please comment on the videos if you see something you like or don't like, see something you think I could do better or different. Give me a comment, and I definitely read them all. I keep up with them really good and try to get back to everybody if I can. So like and comment, subscribe, and we'll keep doing content. I'm enjoying this, so I hope you guys are too. And it's fun. I really do enjoy it. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.